televiewers, a special Berakah, and welcome to another edition of the Catholic Berakah, a program which is aimed to uplift the hearts and minds of Catholic faithful and people of goodwill. Magekeli Mafoteni is my name, and I'm your host on today's edition. Helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world for one person. Televiewers, on today's edition, we're going to be talking about generosity. We're going to take a short transition, and when I get back, I'm going to introduce to you my panelists of the day. Welcome back, televiewers, and if you're just tuning in, you're onto the Catholic Berakah, a program which is aimed to uplift the hearts and minds of Catholic faithful and people of goodwill. Magekeli Mafoteni is my name, and I'm your host on today's edition. Without any delay, I'm going to bring my panelists on board, and I'm going to begin with Mr. Feji Galus, a special Berakah, and welcome on today's edition.
A special Berakah to you, Madam Kelly Mafo, moderator of Catholic Berakah Ministry Cameroon. I want to be so grateful and thank you for inviting me to the program. And it is very, very important that I be here today to give my own point of view on the topic that is on the table. I want to say that it has propped my mind, and I've been touched very well with this, our ministry, and God has made it possible that I should be here today. I'm so grateful, and I want to thank everybody who has lifted me up, and that they are the wings under my wings that I can fly in this program. I thank my director, Madame Eposi, who is part of the panelists, and I wish her a very, very happy Sunday today, which is a wonderful Sunday for us, the Catholic people. So we want to wish her well. The 33rd Sunday of the year B. Madam, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Feji Galus. It's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Last but not the least, we have Madam Eposi Emilia. She is the director of Berakah Cameroon, aka she is Mount Zion, the unshakable, a special Berakah. And welcome on today's edition.
Thank you, Mafo. It's always a joy for me to be here. And I also want to begin by saying a special Berakah to Almighty God, who gives us that time, gives us the strength, gives us that inspiration, knowledge, gives us that good health, and makes it possible for us to be here to share our view with you out there. A special Berakah to all the Catholic faithful out there and the people of goodwill. A special Berakah to the Bishop Emeritus, Bishop Emmanuel Bushu. A special Berakah to the local ordinary Bishop Ibi Michael. Special Berakah to all the parish priests of the Diocese of Boya, especially our parish priest of St. Charles Loanga Parish, Father Marcel Ewang. Special Berakah. And a special Berakah to the Readers Ministry of St. Charles and all the faithful of St. Charles Loanga's Parish. A special Berakah to the entire MW team, especially Madame Fuchi Bronhida, Madame Ernestine, Mr. Beats, Mr. Paul, Mr. Idungwe, all the pupils, students, and teachers. A special Berakah to Madame Mary Kumbe, a special Berakah to all the Berakenians out there, especially you, Mr. Edmond, Mola Ebe, Mami Young, Madame Christine Gole, Madame Maswago, Maitre Awunja, Frida, Madame Abba, all the Berakenians out there, there are so many. And a special Berakah to the Tenu and the Galusis family, a special Berakah to my children, Eyole, Muname, and Elue. A special Berakah to our spiritual director, Reverend Father George Kezen Jingo. Why not a special Berakah to all the benefactors of this program? A special Berakah to you, because you are the ones making us to sit here. I always want to say we are grateful for all your sacrifices that is being done. Today, the church celebrates in a special way the 33rd Sunday in ordinary time here B. Next week, we are going to have the last Sunday of year B, and we begin the first Sunday of Advent. And next Sunday, we are going to have the Feast of Christ the King, where we are going to carry out the procession of Corpus Christi. Today, the church has started drawing us to taking stock, as we always put it. And the reflection of today tells us that great events are normally preceded by spectacular opening ceremonies. The second coming of Jesus will be the greatest event ever witnessed by mankind. To usher it in, then, we should expect the greatest spectacular opening ceremony. It will be breathtaking for many and even frightening for others. For as the gospel reading informs us, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. That we can have it from Mark chapter 13, verses 24 to 25. But it tells us that, however, let us not be frightened. Rather, let us be like those who joyfully anticipate the spectacular opening ceremony of the Olympic Games and prepare well for buying of their tickets, etc. Let us buy our tickets online now, not via the internet, but by faith, and let us keep them well by faith-filled lifestyle. And that is why today we are going to talk about generosity. And if we look at it, we started with love and we went further by talking about gratitude. As we said, gratitude is the path to sainthood, and generosity is derived from gratitude. So if you are not grateful, you cannot be generous, and you cannot be generous with the whole heart. If you are not grateful, you can only be generous in a pretentious way. Generous people that have wisdom from God, they are grateful before they become generous. That is why St. Francis de Sales tell us that Mount Calvary is the academy of love. Mount Calvary is the academy of love. So which tells you that sacrifice is needed for love, and that sacrifice comes as a result of generosity. Therefore, that is why I'm going to give the song of today, which tells us that I believe that Jesus died for me, a sacrifice beyond my understanding, offering himself in place of me. Oh, how can I repay the Lord? Oh, Father, Father, to you we offer, oh my Jesus, to you this gift we bring. Holy Ghost, accept this offering which we offer up to you. So this is the greatest generosity ever witnessed since mankind began. Jesus offering himself as a sacrifice for our redemption and for our salvation. Thank you, Mafo.
Mount Zion, still with you. I'll give you 1 minute to give us a recap on our last week edition.
Yes, last week we were talking about gratitude, and we're talking about what can foster gratitude. What can foster gratitude? And that is why we went further by saying that we need to remember the blessings you have. That's just what we need to do in order for us to be grateful. Express gratitude to others by making a conscious effort, by always saying thank you for little things. Can you say thank you when somebody renders you a service? Even though you pay for that service, can you say thank you? That motivates the person, and that also helps you to improve on your efforts of gratitude. And looking also, we talked about be grateful in little things. We talk about look at the many positive things instead of the little negative ones. We said that we should practice gratitude and meditate upon it. Look at the life of saints. Look at the life of our Master Jesus Christ and see how gratitude, how how you can be grateful for what they did. With all that, it is going to help you. In order for you to be grateful, you must be ready to trust. You have to trust, not looking at what you have, what you don't have, or what you have is small, and then you look at it that with that you cannot share. So with the small, we looked at the widow's mite. The widow, she did not have much, but she could still share with that her little. She could still be grateful, and that is why it led her to that generosity, to that giving. So we should always be ready to share even the little that we have. There is nobody that cannot have anything that the person can be grateful about, to be able to share it. So there we also said that we should always be aware. Remember, most often we forget. That is why we even forget there's so many good things that people do to us, and we look at the one little thing, that the error that the person has done, and we capitalize on that, and then we try to tarnish the person's reputation as if that person has not done anything good in this life. So that is very bad, and that makes us not to be grateful. So we should instead look at the many good things, the many positive things that people have done. When people are doing good things to you, you should be aware, be conscious of what they are doing, and you should be grateful. And with all that, you have the mindset and that decision making of always being grateful to others, always being grateful to the little to the little services that people render you. And with all that, you see that once you are grateful, therefore you will be generous.
Thank you very much, Mount Zion, for that 1 minute recap. Going to our topic of today, which is choose generosity, and I'm going to begin with Mr. Feji Galus, Engineer Feji Galus. Engineer Feji Galus, when we talk about being generous, what do we mean? What are we talking about? In which aspect?
No, if you want, there's no aspect. You have to globalize it.
Okay.
You as a human being, you are generous. You should be generous. When you talk about, because me, I read from the book of Reverend Father John Kezajiwa, the Berakah book. So if you look at what he has explained in that book, is that when you generosity is giving yourself to others, and the only person, no human being is generous. I'm starting to say, until I will prove you wrong. The only person, after the topic was sent to me, I tried to scan. I saw the only person who was generous was Jesus. It was Jesus, because we, the human beings, our mind is full of resentment, negativity, anger. That's why our gratitude is in shortage. That's why Father Nkata will tell us the choice of being generous is a critical choice to make, because a Berakah lifestyle must live on this thing, on the generosity, which is more than just money and even material things. They will tell you that as a Berakah, you have to give your time, as Madam Pastor always say, your 3 T's. You have to give your hospitality, you have to give your treasure, you have to give your talent, your ideas, your opportunities, your encouragement, and even your life. How many of us can live our lives? The topic that you have put on there to read, you see that person gave his life, because it's not easy to come and see somebody who will be attacked and to take care of that person. So the generosity is a virtue, and that virtue must be upheld by any person who wants to live like a Berakah. And this virtue, many people who think that they are rich, they don't have that virtue. That's why when you talk about generosity, it's a whole bunch of many things. It's a whole bunch of many things. So when you hear the message of Pope Francis to the poor, that it seems that world is very taking care. They don't taking care of the poor. The rich people are very stingy with what they have to take care of the poor. So the charity has become a philanthropic matter, which is not supposed to be so. You are supposed to be generous. No, it's not philanthropy you are doing. It's generosity you are doing, which is for whose sake? For the sake of God. And that's why when you look at generosity, when you do it for the sake of God, you drink from your saucer. You drink from your saucer. But when you do it, that the world should see you, I will not tell you what is going to come. Because when I read the story of Elisha in the Bible, when in the 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 42 to 44, and when they started sharing, they see that it was only increasing. So if you go further to read the multiplication of the loaves in the Bible again, because when I was in church, I was doing 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 44 to 42, and John 6, 1 to 10. They are all multiplication of the loaves. So we in this part of the world, I like to talk a lot about our community. Our generosity is in shortage in all directions. In all directions, we are so materialistic that we don't see that there are poor people around us. They don't see that there are needy people around us. And when we want to give, we call the whole world to see what they are giving. Meanwhile, Jesus Christ said in the Bible that what the right hand is giving, the left hand should not know. And therefore, I come down to say that the entire world is full of bad system. And that's why the poor are very poor. If you are not generous with your money that you have now, with the idea that you have now to make the world a better place, the mosquito will bite you. Whether it be you kind of house, whether it be a poor air condition, you come inside house, walk up the street. I walk out the street, that mosquito will bite you. I thank God that near the technical school now, they put a signboard, the council put a signboard that no dead should be thrown there. Because people are throwing dead and multiplying mosquito. People are burning the dead and giving people cough and giving people a lot of I don't know how to call it in the medical field. So you see that common cold. You see that generosity is in shortage because of the action of human being. God has made the world to be that go ye and make the world a better place. Multiply. Are we multiplying? Jesus for me is the only man who is generous. Any other human being is just doing their own small thing, as Reverend Father Bush will be talking. He said you don't get close to a box of more than 6 months. No, you go get with some person now. If you don't get an until you do and so, you are not generous. So our generosity has to go beyond the teaching of the Pharisees, beyond what the Pharisees were saying. We are not generous, Madam Moderator. The generosity that you are talking here about is bigger. It's too big for me. Because when you just look around, how many people have not stolen to make that money that are making? The book of Ecclesiastes says that what? Anybody who have become rich without soil in his hands, bring him or her to me. Let us congratulate him. Who are those who are making big money? They soil their hands. They give bribe. They give everything to make money. So that now that John Piper says what? All those who have money are not even giving. And that's why you can see that in the Bible. My Bible says, I will be hung up. You see the Bible that just Christ took by the widow's mite. Why would the widow's mite say important, that generosity? It was important because that woman did not keep any anger in her mind. It was important because that woman did not kept any negativity in her mind. It was because the woman came with all her being and gave her life. It is not that she gave everything out to go and eat. Me, I don't think so. I think that now when I sing for church every day, because I don't know for sing, when you bring your gift to the altar and you know you have a problem to solve with your brother, leave at the altar and go and solve it first. How many people brought those gifts? So Jesus Christ saw that those people were coming to blaspheme, to fool, but you don't know how they read the mind. And that's why when he told is it Andrew or Philip, when he was moving that boss gospel reading, John chapter 6, he said, is there anybody here where they're following him? Is there anybody or something? He said, where are we going to get food to feed these people? Can we? Then Philip was at it. No. Andrew said, no. How can you think that we can feed these people? There's no way to, if you give how many 100 denarii, what can we do with it? He was asking because he was testing that man. And that's how God is testing our minds every day, probing into our minds every day, and we are not looking that God is asking us to be generous. So you look at, I want to lay my case here, I will end and say that if you want to be generous truly. Father Kele will say, be sincere generosity. Have sincere faith. Don't give, like the book of Proverbs says, 23 verse 7. Take and eat, but his mind is not with you. And that's how man think it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Galus. So, Madam Eposi, listen to what Mr. Galus is saying there, and me trying to screen some few opinions from people around me lately. I discovered that generosity is not even in the minds of most people. And when I try to dig further, they were like, in our community of today, the reason why some of them don't want to be generous is because the society is evil. We have evil people. Maybe when you're being generous to somebody, maybe he can take you for granted or use something from you that you have given to him or her for an evil purpose. So I'm asking you now, should that be a reason why people should stop being generous?
Normally, there should be no reason why you should not be generous. For no reason. Why they say what they are saying is because because, like the church puts it, in order for you to know yourself, you should first know God. That's why the church say God made us to know him. So once you know him, you'll be close to him. And once you are close to God, St. John tells us that love has nothing to fear about. Yes. Once love comes, it drives away fear. So that is why, so when you see somebody who is still afraid, know that that person has not have the fullness of love. So once that fullness of love comes, you not even think about whether giving or whatever. That's why Father Josh will say that when that happens, you have a boomerang effect. Because when the person wants to hurt you, the person is the person that will have the effect. Yes, because you are filled with love. So those are the things. But because we always look for reasons for not doing what we are supposed to do, we always get the reason that is not tangible. It is not substantial. Because tomorrow, when you stand, as I said before the program even began, that the 4 last things you have: death, judgment, heaven or hell. So if you stand in front of your judgment and then God asks you, like now we are going towards the end of the liturgical year, so we should be taking our stock, we should be examining ourselves. So just imagine that you are there and God asks you that why were you not generous, and you are telling God that because the world was evil, so I was afraid. So just like Adam, you have gone back to the Adamic syndrome, that when God called him, Adam, he said, why did you hide? I was afraid, so immediately I heard you, I went and hid myself. Why should you be afraid? So because when God and Adam, they were discussing at that time, the love was at its highest peak. So when Adam disobeyed God, then now he started being afraid of God. So when we are not living according to the values and virtues, the next thing that comes is fear. And so when we live, as St. John puts it, that once we are full of love, once love abounds, where we have the fullness of love, fear automatically goes away. Just like as he puts it also, fear comes as a result of punishment. And that is why the person is afraid that when I give, this person may do this, and from there I'll instead have punishment instead of. But when you look at it, were you helping the person in order for the person to punish you? So there God cannot allow it. So because you are doing it out of love. And that is why when we want to do things, we should. That's what Mr. Gallus was talking about, the widow's mite. That when the widow gave, she gave her all. She was not bitter. She was so open. She was like very pure. And who shall climb the mountain of the Lord? The man with clean hands and pure heart. So with that you climb the mountain of the Lord. With that you dine with God. So and when you dine with God, you are not afraid. So we have to be careful. So what we should be striving for is to see how we can make it possible for us to unite, to relate, and to make ourselves one with God. Just like Jesus Christ said, my Father and I, we are one. So can we make ourselves to be one with God and with Jesus Christ in the things that we do? Like Mother Teresa asked, in every situation, ask yourself, if Jesus were to be here, what would Jesus do? So if Jesus was in your place, Jesus will not help the man. Jesus will not give. So immediately you don't give, then that is not what Jesus would have done. So you have done something that is wrong. So we should always act in Christ-like nature. We should not be putting our own reasons for not doing what is right. And that is why you see the society going the way it is going, because in everything that we are asked, we always have a reason for not doing the right thing. And so with that, it is not going to help us. It is not going to help the society. Because just like Mr. Gallus was saying, you see, the council has marked out that place and put caution there. But if you look at it, in the, like I was going to church, Mr. Gallus, I saw somebody has already thrown corn there. So you see, so that by the time you want to ask that person, if you see the person will ask you that, let me not throw the dirt here, where should I go and throw the dirt? So you see, that's why I say that people will always have foolish excuses for doing the wrong thing.
Madam Posi, I beg, I'm sorry to cut you. I want to quote my daughter Yole. When the person is right, the society will be right. That's why don't look at other people. Do your own.
That is it.
Be right and not if that one are not right. That is not your problem. Madam Posi, the problem is many people are not ready to make contribution out of their abundance.
Yes.
But many people are not ready to make contribution out of their poverty. And for example, sincere poverty, they don't want to give. They want to give sincere giving, because when you lay things in the hands of God.
That's it.
But that was when I read when you tell the topic, I read the Bible, I read the 2 Kings, I read John chapter 6. When you, for example, we talked all one time there, the hand of God, when you have to do with God in hand, leave something for God in hand. When you leave something for God in hand, you know what happened to you. So when Jesus prayed and said, Papa God, take.
Into your hands I commend my spirit.
No, when he took the loaves and
Okay,
prayed,
there
was abundance now. So when you hand things to God, no matter how small it is, there's going to be abundance. In that deficiency, there's going to be plenty. So we are only saying that people should have sincere generosity, with a sincere heart. This is our community, this is our country, this is our so-called Africa, because me and I call it Black Continent. It will be a better place. I'm sorry, because I don't want to go into that one. But you should know that if somebody is cutting trees, look at how the place is very hot. Are you being generous when you cut down trees carelessly? Are you being generous when you burn things carelessly? You burn wrappings. You deplete the ozone layer. I wrote that story. Kalahari. By the year 3000, 25 years ago. I'm not publishing. You see that it is getting true and true. That's Kalahari is coming. Kalahari and Sahara they are going to meet. That's what it was that General Sahara and General Kalahari want to meet. We are in the middle between Kalahari and Sahara. Sahara is up, Kalahari is down. So they want to meet. So if you see that if our generosity does not go above the thinking of the Pharisees and the scribes, we are not following Christ. And we are not disciples. Because to follow Christ is one thing, to be like Christ is one thing. To be a disciple is one thing, follow Christ and be a disciple is another thing. Because a disciple is not chocolate. Discipleship is not chocolate. And that's why when I look at the society of my policy, I'm saying that Christ has said in the Bible that until we become like children. There was a child who gave that 2 loaves and 5 fish. Yes. 5 loaves and 2 fish. It was a child. So if you don't think like a child, you will not give. Madam President, share about generosity. Yes. So people will be there. Madam Moderator, people will be sure they count down. Put your hand in your pocket. 3 million. I give 200,000. You count down. But that begin bringing 5 loaves and 2 fish. With a child, with a childish mind. Yes, because a childish mind they give now. Oh, you need to hide nothing. But we people will hide over. And God who knows our minds, the man the play and play. You need to try now. You know why you need to try? So the generosity matter is a virtue that we have to cultivate as Berakah, as I said in the book of Berakah book. We must choose it plus gratitude will give us a better lifestyle as Berakah.
Thank you. Back to you, Mzai.
Yeah, so just like Mr. Galu said, we see even in the story in the life of Jesus Christ at the cross, what did he say? Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And so when, as he was saying, he talked about the blessing. when you leave the things in God's hands, there are two things that are involved. You have either the blessing will come to you that you are giving, yes, and then the other person judgment. So there, that's why I was talking about the boomerang effect. So you that you have given wholeheartedly, blessing will come to you, and then surely the person now who wants to harm you, you have the boomerang effect. So what you have to do is just for you to give in that free mind, so that, as we have said, you are climbing the mountain of the Lord. You know that you have your clean hands and pure heart. Once you have clean hands and pure heart, you leave everything to God. That now, God is the person now that is going to take now that judgment. So it is not about you again. So we have to be careful the way we look at the life that we are living, because you see so many people, they will say that today it is very difficult for you to be a Christian, of which it is true. But does it mean that today we cannot have saints? They are saints. So the only thing is that we are being the world. That is why Jesus was so certain in his last testament in John chapter 17, his last words when he was saying that they are in the world, but they are not of the world. That word is very important, that statement that he made. And every Christian, that should be something like food for thought every time. You always take it in order for you to do an examination. You are in the world. Are you in the world? Or you are in the world, but you are not of the world? And so if you see that you are in the world and you are in the world, which means that you are doing the things that you are going the way the world is going,
the fleshy way,
then you have to make a U-turn.
I'll say one thing: you have to make a stock. Every person who has a boutique,
yes,
make a stock at the end of the year. That way, I'll say make a stock taking. I'll be said 200 this thing. I'll be said 300 of this thing. And I'll be buying at 500. Why remain at 100? You make those stock taking, and then you see your spiritual life. How is it moving forward? Madam Moderator, we are talking about spiritual things here. Me, I'm talking about the Mr. Goji. Most of us are still at the signpost, and that's why we don't move forward. We think that when we die, we will just make heaven like easy as that. Judgment day is coming. Another position talk. Judgment day is coming, and most of our families are divided. Me, I'm talking because I'm inside. They are divided. Many families are on the year. We now go back, sit down, make peace with everybody, make justice with everybody, so that we should move forward. Because everybody who is in the tomb today had a plan for the next day.
Yes.
Anybody who died in the hospital now, when I'm talking now, had a plan for the next hour. So your next hour, next second does not belong to you. Make peace with your brother, make justice with your brother, and let life be better. So the next person, Madam, I'm talking about my serious matter.
Yes.
If you build a house and you come out dirty water strap outside, and they enter Ndongo, you walk up a road, and they bring mosquito, they must go bite you. So now all of that person you try so because don't be mansion. Now the man shows us with the conference they build on V. It's wrong because the little resources we have, we should put it together so that we can live better. At each level, we have it. In the domestic church, we have it. In the community, we have it. We have quarter, we have domestic churches. The head of the domestic church should do things that everyone is going to feel better, feel the love of God. God has put us in a wonderful place so we can feel better. But why that you want to make Koba on the altar? You are not to be generous. Why? You don't be house. The Roman people who are saying the village are better. I stayed in the village in Company Mission. We all had mad houses. My father moved to a zinc house. It became very hot there. But the matter was better. But you have built a very big mansion, as I'm now staying in another community in Boya, and we are on and so forth. You don't see that place are very funny. It's not good. So that don't think that those who are staying in town, you are better than other people in the village. So help those people in the village in their education, their lifestyle, their illness. Make sure that you can pay insurance for some people. Say, okay, I'll pay 5 insurance for you, my boy. With the money you have, that abundant money is vanity. Pay insurance for people that have good health. I'm sorry because I'm going because the generosity is very big. It's very big. That was people they're not well educated. Then the society will be wrong. And then you have money in your bank account and you're keeping it for 30 years, 50 years, 100 years to do what? Educate other people so that the society can be better. We can discover things. When are we going to have our own Einstein, Pythagoras, Nikola Tesla? When you don't have the right education, but there are people who have money. You should educate children. That is generosity. That's what I'm saying. I'm very passionate about it. So we can have our own Einstein. That can say, okay, this our environment like this soil, this one I go grow for here. It can be done because the children are intelligent. Maybe the villages pick one. Be generous to them. Give them the right education. Give them good head. If you are in good head, it's well for everybody. Because if all my say color day, normally no people go bring color. You go survive the way you walk around street too. I wait.
Just like as you, from what you are saying, Reverend Father Josh will always say that people are not poor, but they lack opportunity. Yeah. So those children,
it is
if you give them that opportunity, you'll be marveled at what those children can do.
For we are opportunities.
So that's it. So you have that opportunity to be generous to other people. Why prevent that? Because when you are generous, you help this child. For instance, a poor child in the village, you give the child the opportunity. You see the child come up now with something that can help so many people. Who now is you realize that you are the backbone of what is happening. So, but people don't know. So you just think, because for us, we think that what we have in our heads is that materialism, it makes us fame. Power makes us fame. So as you have said, our mentality, we don't believe in helping, like sponsoring people for betterment of our society.
Let me add some small thing there. I'll help you there. The people want to sponsor, but they want to come. Whoa, now it is a car. Whoa. But Jesus is saying that in your deficiency, come with your weakness, I will put you up. But people want to come with their power. God does not want people with power. So that God will say that I am the one who did it. God said, because when God sent his disciples out to go, he said, take nothing with you. So that the people will see what the disciples are doing now. Oh, now God, now Jesus do now Jesus, that they get a strong God. And that's why Paul and Silas, when they left the prison, it was the time that they how do you call them now? Centurion now. Yeah. That might they got prison.
Yeah, they got that was there. This is the centurion.
Yeah, the centurion. He said, now when God when they save, me I go and bless my house. So this is what we are saying. That you go with our weakness to God. Don't go with our power to God. God don't share his power with some man. All those things, now me this, now me be this, now me be this, cow, people magic, do the kind of thing. God do not be silently. Father, I come with my weakness. That's why those little boys, they came with their weakness. That widow might came with his weakness. That good Samaritan, I will go to this very soon, came with the weakness, and God lifted them up because it's God who is doing it. There's nothing you have that is not God's own.
So just like Mr. Galus, you have gone to our definition of Berakah when it comes to generosity. Just from what we have been saying, generosity, it will always begin when we accept that life and everything in it is a gift. So once we accept that it is a gift and it comes from God, then now you know that it is not about you, it is about God. So you will not want to, because so as from what we have been saying, if you look at it, most often people want to be generous because they want to obtain benefits in maybe the fame. When you do something, then people praise you, they look at it. That is, but if you have the background knowledge of what spiritual or Christian generosity means in the church, you know that it comes as a result of gratitude, which tells you that all what you have, it is as a result of the gifts that God has given you. And with that, the only way for you to be grateful, to show your gratitude, is for you to be generous. That's why in Berakah we say, gratitude plus generosity gives an abundance. Yes, it gives an abundance. Because once you accept, then you know that it is not like St. Paul will say that God has helped us in our troubles. So I'll put it in this way: God has helped you and given you abundance, so that through you looking at the way God has helped you, you can help other people. So when God helps you in your troubles, when another person has trouble, you are going to know now how to counsel the person and tell the person that, look, my brother, don't kill yourself. This is how you go about it, and there you have helped somebody. So now when we have, what should we do? You look at those that God has put entrusted to your care, and then now you can reach out to them. But most often we carry out this reaching out as a philanthropy work, in the sense that if you look at even today, that's why most people, even though it is not perfect, because you see some people, they'll send money, go and help the people who are poor and things like that, and then you send us the images. Why? Because people are so pretentious, they are so cunning. You'll be sent to go and carry out a mission, and you see so many people, they don't carry out that mission. So you see somebody who say that, no, how can I be somebody that may be like is it NGOs or some of these
NGOs?
Yes, you come, they have given you write, maybe you write there's a certain community that maybe they need water, or the children there, you want to help them, you write for appeal and grants and whatever. The first thing when it comes, you see the person goes and first build a very big mansion, and then you start looking now at the little, and then maybe snapping small pictures now and sending back and all that. So that is what we are saying, that is not generosity.
It is not love.
Yes.
Because there's no midway in love.
Is not there.
Yes, love does not have a midway.
Yes.
There's no halfway in love.
Because then now you love but your own self, and that is what we are saying, that's self-centeredness.
You are talking about Christian way. You know, my life was in a community. Let's not be misword. They know me. People know me when I'm talking like that. When they have money, they go to the village. They help people. They want to be a king. They have been chiefs because they have money. And then when they are general to the village now, they put them cap. Oh, the wrong crown chief. But that's not what I'm saying here. That one I own thing like bush
That's
talk.
not generosity.
That's not generosity. Because you want to be power.
You want a benefit of what you are doing.
Because they have become chiefs of certain quarter, chiefs of certain village, because they were generous in their in the money they have, in their materialism. But now Jesus Christ wants that you should give and don't look back. So that Jesus Christ is going to take the front, not you. You're not going to be in front. Jesus is not going to share his power with anybody. God is very generous of that power. So, and the only man was good and generous is Jesus, God's Father. The Almighty Father sent his only begotten Son. Do you know what it means to give your life to people, to redeem them? My life was, I say, people don't know judgment day will be. Me, I don't go there. I don't go there. I know that's why I can speak like that. Because when you read people like St. Paul, he said, nah, I'm no more living. I'm living in Christ. Die or alive is Christ, it's me.
I now no longer live.
Yeah.
Christ lives in me.
Mark chapter 10.
Luke chapter 10, verses 29 to 40 to 37.
Okay.
But because he wished to justify himself, he said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man fell victim to robbers as he went down from Jerusalem to Jericho. They stripped and beat him and went off, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down that road, but when he saw him, he passed by on the opposite side. Likewise, a Levite came to the place, and when he saw him, he passed by on the opposite side. But a Samaritan traveler who came upon him was moved with compassion at the sight. He approached the victim, poured oil and wine. He lifted him up on his own animal, took him to an inn, and cared for him. The next day, He took out 2 silver coins and gave them to the innkeeper with the instruction, take care of him. If you spend more than what I have given you, I shall repay you on my way back. Which of these 3, in your opinion, was neighbor to the robber's victim? He answered, the one who treated him with mercy. Jesus said to him, go and do likewise.
The story is clear.
Yes, so when you look at it, you realize that generosity, from what we have read, it comes with that feeling. True generosity, it comes with that feeling of empathy. Yes. Compassion.
Compassion, yeah.
Yes. You have that emotions that you feel for another person. So when you feel for another person, it drives you now to take action. So then now you can be able to take action. And once you have this, you have humility also. That also helps as a virtue for you to be ready to take action. Because look at this man. If you look at the man had to give up his animal. The man had wounds. He removed his oil. So that was enough humility. He had to bandage the wounds and then did all that. He used his time. So there we see him using the 3 T's, Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Because there we see he was generous with his time.
Yes.
He was generous with his treasure. Yeah. And he was also generous with
his talents.
His talents, because he had to bandage the wound.
Yes.
He had to pour oil, and so that was enough. So we can see. So generosity does not only rely on material things. Some people think that it is only material. I don't have me anything, but you have talents that you can be generous with.
Madam Posse, something they will talk about today. I like to talk about pigeon. You talk about love. You see, the problem in this generation that we are living is that if we don't do this work very well, we are going to be questioned when we have not left the world, because my flesh will only get rotten, my spirit will never get rotten. Meaning that people are so tied with the traditional law. Law talk say, I know it touching man, I be chief, I need agreement on hand. Now who tell you that one? Love says what? Because the Levite and the priest, they were doing by the tradition. Yes. There was no love in the law. Father, my sister said that
because love is going to take you
to a level of compassion and mercy. You see that when you put the law first, you kill everything.
Yes.
Father, myself tell that love is good, and we're going to be guided by law. Because love without guidance of law is chaos. Meaning that the Levite, you remain at the level of law without going to a level of love. And the Samaritan, who was a despised man in the society, saw love in his mind. And you see, God does not judge all by appearance.
When you look at it, love comes to foster love.
That's it.
So that is why law does not come to remove love.
And that's why Christ have not come to cancel this law. I've come to reinforce it.
So law is there to foster love. Okay, take for instance, like now, behind that GTHS, the council has come, they have placed the caution there. Nobody should throw. Yeah. That's a law, right?
Yeah.
But now, why that law? To foster love. Yeah. Because when we don't throw dead,
there will be no mosquitoes.
No, there will be no mosquitoes.
There will be no malaria.
Live now well. So when law comes to foster love and not to destroy or to kill love. No. So once you see a law that is there that destroys love, then that is not a good law.
And that's why Jesus, in the way you read the Bible, the scripture very well, you said Jesus was always in conflict with his own people. Because Jesus was going higher, the high level of the law. Because at that time there were 613 laws.
Yes.
But Jesus wanted to fly up to say, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You say, I love your neighbor. He asked that question, what happened now? Yes. Who is my neighbor?
Who is my neighbor?
So if you don't have love, you will not have your neighbor. You say, no, this neighbor need to touch you. I come up with this village A, don't come up with village B. We need to talk with ourselves. Who tell that one? We are made of God, we are made of village. Who tell you that? You were a man possible because I don't want to tell my story too much on this panel.
So, listening to everything. One, what are some of the barriers for people to be ungenerous?
Yes, when we look at what hinders people not to be generous, you see, one of it is this matter of like self-pity, call it entitlement. Like you don't have anything, you look at it, me I'm very poor, so you look at yourself that you are just at that receiving end, you don't have anything to offer. But as I said, there is nobody who does not have anything to offer. Everybody has something small that you can give to others. So when you look at it, you realize that you must be open. You must know that you should not be selfish. You are not grateful, because when you start saying that this is how I don't have it, so it shows that you are not grateful. Because even just the life that you have, that God has given you, that's enough for you. So you have to know that you are blessed. And if you are blessed, then it means that you have been given enough. So, but if you start looking at yourself that you don't have anything to offer, then it means that you are telling God that even the life, you don't want that life because you don't have anything. Then also, we look at it that we have like the widow. The widow did not look at what she had, that it was small, so she could be able to render whatever she has. So when you look at that also, you see, when we have that notion that I have just small, like Philip said to Jesus concerning the small boy, that these 5 loaves and 2 fish, what with this? It is too small for. So once you start having that, it prevents generosity. So but Jesus tells us that whatever you have, you share. Just like the woman who gave Elijah, she told Elijah that what we have is just what my son and I, we are supposed to eat, and then we start waiting for the day that we will die. But now that you have said, she went and she first prepared his own and came and gave him. And from that day, the flour did not get finished and the oil did not also get finished. So that is what we were talking about when we talk about generosity coming through the spiritual aspect as we look at it. Then also love for material things. When we have that love for material things, what happens is that we are so greedy. So when we are greedy, we always want to amass everything to ourselves. We are never satisfied. So with all that, so that when we are unsatisfied with whatever we have, we look at it, you see the little, you cannot imagine, maybe you have a salary of 450,000 francs, and then you have maybe your cleaner is there, maybe the person has just a salary of, let us say, 100,000 or 75,000 francs. Then you are still looking at, maybe you even go and you get the person's own salary and you are adding to your own. So the greed is too much. So once that greed is there, you look at it, you are the only one that good things should come your way. You want to be the only person that you should be comfortable. So with all that mentality, you realize that you cannot be generous. You cannot. It prevents generosity. And then also, when we talk about this material thing, we also talk about power. So with all that, people want to gain fame, and then they want people to be looking at them like little gods. That type of they want to be, I don't know how to put it, but like that kind of thing. You want people to always look at you, want to project yourself, so that all the focus should be on you. So with that, you are struggling by all means to reach a particular level, so that in that level you can smash everybody. So once you have that type of mentality, it prevents generosity, because what you are looking, you are not even seeing the people who are suffering around you, but you are looking at the height that you want to put yourself, so that all those people can be seeing you in that height, and then from that height now you are smashing all of them. So with all that, you cannot we cannot be generous when we have all that. So we look at it. We also look at when we also look at the way maybe you look at yourself. You always want to be like in schools. You see some children, they have knowledge, they are intelligent, but they will not want to share with each other because they think that there is scarcity of everything. So the child will be looking at it that, no, if let me say I explain this thing better to my classmates, maybe during the exam they are going to do better than me, so it's better for me to pass, so that through that maybe the opportunity that will come. So with that, so they have that limited, they have that mindset of scarcity, that everything that exists is in scarcity. So if for instance me I succeed, you cannot succeed. So with that, they don't want to share their knowledge, they don't want to share the opportunity that they have. You see, somebody will see an opportunity, instead of telling their friend that this is what I've gone, somebody has said there's an opening here, instead you keep it to yourself. According to you, when you spread it, other people, they will come and get your position. So you want to keep it. So that prevents generosity, because you think that the opportunity is scarce, and with that now you want to like keep it to yourself.
This is typical African mentality, and that's why they said in Bangwada at Ongwe, you cannot have something that you will not use and you be take it and throw in the dustbin so that nobody will use, and that's why they cannot move forward. I keep saying it. With this mindset, we the black skin cannot go forward, because our opportunities will not have the opportunity to make people great. We will not have our own Einstein, we will not have our own Nikola Tesla, we will not have our own scientists who can bring the formula for us to move forward. If you want to move forward in your own part of the world, every solution must come from you. It cannot come from abroad. And that's why my position, one of the things that has killed us black skin is pride. You have said, I'll talk about greed. When you look at the story in the Bible, look at all the stories. People are not in the story in the Bible. That's why they are not understanding all these words they are talking here. They can be say it. I continue to tell people, my spiritual director, Reverend Father John Keza, picked me from the dustbin. And today I'm on a certain level. Because I've learned book, I've got this one, I've got this degree. But was that enough? If you don't know the mind of Christ, the scripture, then all the 100 PhD you have is zero, because nobody read Matthew chapter 6 verse 25. Is not life more than food, and not the body more than clothes? So that possession cannot define us as worthy. The amount of possession cannot define you. So that you have to share everything. You don't see that man have a coffin now. You say, I'm not getting nothing. I came without anything, I'm going back without anything. So if you want to remain at that level, okay, you can do it. But other is ruined, because one day, another position at the beginning, Christ is coming, and it will be very, very in grand style.
Thank you very much, Mr. Galus and Madame Eposi. Our time here is running out, so I'll plead on you guys to conclude on today's edition.
No, my conclusion is this. Read the story that the prayer that Jesus Christ gave us. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Give us, it doesn't say give me, give us daily bread. And when you say that give us, it means that if you give us, you should share everything you have. It's not about you alone, it's not about us. And the book of Acts tells me that those who in the community, so something that you will leave your house, you go to heaven alone, you will not be right. So it's better you go to the community, be together, share together, and they will joy, and they will not only enjoy, they will be also joy. I want to leave the case here for next time.
Yes, so I'll go by telling our viewers and us that, as the church tells us, the lesson the church has for us today is clear, that we must be always ready to meet the Lord on that unknown last day. For as Christ himself said, that day or that hour no one knows, not even the angels, but it is certain that someday we will die. Our Christian faith tells us too that life is changed, not ended, and we gain an everlasting dwelling place in heaven. But because life is precious and because we do not know any better nor what the life hereafter is, we tend to cling to this present and fast-fleeting life, the only one of our experience. Although we are reminded that this life will end very soon, we fool ourselves to believe that very soon is not really soon after all. This is why today's gospel calls to warn us, as we are also talking about generosity, that we should so live our present life ever ready to meet God when he calls us. About when our day we do not know. We can do nothing, but we can do something with the grace of God to ensure that all will be right with us when God does call. We cannot avoid a certain death, but can avoid an unprepared death. The important question then is, if I were to be called up today, how would I fare? This is the purpose of today's gospel, to enable us answer fittingly this all-important question. Do not then be deceived by the prophets of doom who claim to know when this world will end. Do not be deceived by the passing pleasure of this life. Live your life honestly, simply, trustworthy, with generosity, counting your blessing, and in gratitude, share with the less fortunate. Thus, you will be prepared to meet God in his glorious and everlasting dwelling place in heaven whenever he will call you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Feji Galus and Madame Eposi. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Being generous is a big part of our Christian life. Televiewers, I want to encourage all of us to adopt the spirit and the attitude of being grateful and being generous. Televiewers, I want to say a special Berakah to all of you watching. I want to say a special Berakah to Mr. Ken Raven, the staff and CEO of Mansa Munsa Crest. Great encouragement and put more effort into your work. It is on this note that I draw the curtains on today's edition. Kelly Mafotenu is my name and I've been your host. Remember,
Berakah.